so we can get started.
Yes,
Yeah.
And at 6
Yes, sir.
o'clock, we'll start our meeting. Call the meeting to order. We'll ask Ms. Cole, she'll give the pledge, and Robert, if you give the invocation. Stand, please.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, bow with me, let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight, Lord, so thankful for this blessed day, our health. Thank you for many blessings that you bestow upon us each and every day. Father, we ask tonight as we go into this meeting that the things that are discussed here tonight, Lord, be a benefit to the city of Mount Pleasant, the applicants and all parties involved. We ask that you protect and watch over us as we leave this place this evening, Lord, and take care of us and our families. And we just thank you for all that you've done for us. We give you thanks and praise in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. All right, our next item is the approval or correction of the minutes. And
I make a motion, we approve the minutes.
I
Yep.
second
have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of January the 4th, 2012. Those in favor, let me know by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. All righty, we'll get into our business items.
it. Do you want to
Approve the agenda as well.
You want to break the agenda? It's for here, so
Number 3.
yours may
I
not.
overshot it.
Oh, okay, that's all right. Okay.
All righty. We have the approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second,
It's of the
for the
agenda.
agenda.
Of the
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Of the agenda.
Okay.
Those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now then, we're down to our first item. We have a request for accessory building. A conditional use permit is required. This is BZA 01252021. Robert, if you want to start us off and explain it?
Yes, sir. I'll be glad to. Thank you. So as the chairman indicated, this is case number BZA 01252021. It's coming to this board tonight for a conditional use request, which is a permit which is an approval or disapproval that has to go before this board for the conditional use of the applicant is wanting to build an accessory structure behind his property located at 104 College Street. He indicated to me, and the plans indicate that he submitted as part of his building permit application that it would be a metal structure. Anything over 200 square feet in the city of Mount Pleasant, any accessory structure over 200 square feet in the city of Mount Pleasant has to come before this board for conditional use, considering that it does not meet the construction standards that's in our zoning ordinance, which is laid out in section 10.8B, and that is construction standards for any accessory structure. Y'all should have received handouts indicative of our construction standards, which this board is very familiar with. And a metal building would not meet those necessary construction standards identified in our zoning ordinance in that section. The proposal from the applicant is for a 30 by 30 metal garage located at the rear of his property. I did view the property today, located at 104 College, and at the back, there's a rise, there's a hill. He got it staked out. I'm sure Many of you got to visit that, if not all of you. And those stakes are indicative of footprint of the building. They had the property surveyed. They're indicative of the footprint of the building. And according to the documentation that I received as part of the building permit application submittal, it indicates the roof color, which is metal, to be matte black, wall color to be slate gray, trim color regal white, wainscot color is regal white, all being metal. It does have an overhang as well. The structure itself, the primary structure at 104 College, is white in color. And I think Mr. Ruse probably did his best attempt at picking out a color palette for this accessory structure to go along with his primary structure. But that's what's before this board tonight, is the conditional use approval for or disapproval of this 30 by 30 metal garage in the rear of Mr. Rue's property.
Mr. Ruse here.
Mr. Rue is not his father, is representative of Mr. Ruse, and he'd be willing to speak on it if the board has any particular questions for him.
What's he use? It just storage garage and
I don't.
It won't have driveway access, right? From looking at the lot?
From looking at the lot, it don't appear like it would have driveway access. I haven't spoke at length with Mr. Roos, but Mr. Roos' father, I think, has been involved. They did a survey on the property. They've actually put in a French
The
drain,
driveway don't stop right where it's at,
to my knowledge,
and
yes.
then the deck's gonna go from outside that, the back door, and then.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Would you come up, please?
Please, maybe you can answer some of these particulars here.
You're correct. The plan is the driveway will stay the same. The building, the new building up on the top of the hill will have a garage door just for access, obviously. It's for storage of four-wheelers and boats and things like that. It's possible to drive up the yard, but not something that's
Right,
gonna do a whole lot.
we saw all of that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's mainly for his lawnmower and things like that. There is plans to put a deck around that corner of the house in the rear, coming off that side porch, but, and then future plans to put a fence on the property. That's why we surveyed, two reasons we surveyed, one for the building and one for the fence. There's really not enough room beside that side porch and the property line to continue the driveway, so there are no plans to extend that.
What about his water problem?
The water, we've had a French drain installed around the back of the house, down the right-hand side. And that handles all that drainage from the hillside down.
And the center of it's drained out, but the one we saw in the middle of the front yard.
Yes, there's two actually. There's one for the drain right in the middle of the foundation, and then there's one to the right that is the French drain that comes around the side.
Any questions? You have a motion.
I have a motion to pass it.
okay, I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to grant the variance.
It's well laid out. There was no problem trying to figure that out. All you had to do is go look. We appreciate that.
No problem. Our intent is to improve the property value, obviously, but also to make it look good.
Yeah. We knew about what we was gonna do when we went up to.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
So we got a motion and a second then?
We have the motion and a second.
Yes, sir.
Those in favor, let me know by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Did you get the motion, the names, do you need that?
I got it, yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All righty, our next item, item B, accessory building, conditional use permit requested for BZA 01250212.
Okay. Similar to the previous, in some ways. This application came before me with through Ms. Perez, who is present tonight. Upon my review of her drawings indicating placement of the structure and what the materials were going to consist of, I advised her at that time that there was two issues here. One being metal structure over 200 square feet has to have conditional approval here. And then also the other being in front of the primary structure. That would be a variance request from this board. So there's two issues here tonight. I spoke with Ms. Perez over this, and I've looked at her lot. Her lot is on Adams Avenue at 309. And if you look at the aerial and if you look on site, you'll see exactly what I'm speaking of. The house is situated on the rear lot line. So it has a huge front yard, but absolutely no backyard. It does have side yard, but once again, it's situated directly on the rear property line. Of course, I've spoken with Ms. Perez about what she would have to do to get this before the board. She provided documentation indicating proposed location in her drawing that was given to each board member. Looks like she's successfully shown measurements and also footprint of the new structure that she's proposing. She's also indicated that the 9x9 shed that is existing on the property, she would like for that to remain. As you know, with our zoning code, you're allowed 2 accessory structures on the property. And that's the maximum you can have in a residential setting. So if this were to be approved, the 9x9 shed and the new proposed structure would meet that criteria. The 18x26, she's indicated to me that that would be removed from the property.
All the way from the property.
All the way from the property, yes, sir. And I've indicated to her that exactly what I just stated here, that our zoning ordinance says you can have 2 accessory structures as a maximum. And she's understood that. And the 9x9 shed is to stay. 18x26 is to be completely removed from the property. And if she receives approval for both the variance and the special exception of conditional use, the proposed new structure would be in place where she's indicated on her drawings there. There's lot constraints there.
So basically, he's gonna get rid of this 18x26, and he wants the 9x9 to stay.
That's correct.
Okay, and what about a yellow building in behind him? It's 8x6. Is he here?
He's not, Ms. Perez is.
What building again, sir?
Would you come up, please?
What building are we
The
talking?
yellow building, the little yellow building.
Oh, it's a playhouse.
6x8.
It's a wooden playhouse. It's my children's wooden playhouse.
Is it on the line or is it over the line?
It is right between me and my neighbors. So the neighbors that I have right now next to me, they rent. And basically, since I have kids, you know, and their child hardly comes outside, they let us use.
We didn't see any property lines.
Okay,
When we went
okay,
over
I
there, we
did
didn't
not.
see any
Okay, yes.
property lines, so we don't know.
Okay,
By eyeing it, the way we eyed it, by eyeing it, it was outside.
that is correct.
property line.
That is correct, sir.
That's not good.
Oh, wait, the little yellow one?
The yellow.
It's just a playhouse.
It's a playhouse.
Yeah, kids' playhouse is all that
Okay,
is.
well, what about the blocks?
Oh, it's a wall where I put flowers. So since I have no like privacy, like nothing in the back, it's a wall, but it has it has blocks sticking out, and I plant flowers and I turn it into a flower wall. I don't know if anybody has seen it, and I have pictures on my phone. I turn it into a flower wall. like on the inside, on the outside, just so I can have a
That's a
little bit of
building.
privacy.
Did that a building?
What the,
Is it gonna be a building?
no,
You
sir,
said just
no, I
private.
can take those off, yes.
The Playhouse,
Yes,
does the property owner know that it's
Yes.
in between the
Yes.
property line? Because
Mr.
that could be
Evers.
a,
yes, Mr. Evers
issue
and
there.
Mr. Evers knows, and in fact, I can move it. I can move it like to my side. It's just that when the person that moves like small sheds, what is it, the rec truck or the wrecker truck? It was just easier because I had those blocks right there. But I can move it onto my property line.
Robert,
If I need to get rid of that small shed, as indicated, where it says 9 by 9 moved within property lines or taken down completely, if I need to do that, I will.
am I right or wrong by the garage can't be in the front yard?
That's correct. That's
Is this garage gonna be in the front yard?
yes, sir.
She
That's the
doesn't have
variance
any
that she's
room in the
requesting.
back, though.
But she has,
Right.
and the only reason is the land constraint. She has no backyard at all, and very little side yard. But that's the reason she's proposing this, or she's requesting this, is simply because of land constraints, with the property.
I hate to say this, but we turned it down on one fellow, we're gonna turn it down again on me.
Yeah, I think we have this front yard situation with the man building in the front yard. Is this 9 by 9 building across the property line?
It is right on her line, like right in between, like right there.
Right in line with
Yes.
it, and it's storage.
Yes, it's a tiny little storage shed.
I think if she doesn't have anywhere else to put anything, if she doesn't have a backyard, I
You
think,
got an 18 by 26 building on the side.
right, but she's gonna tear that down.
I'm
It's
taking
there
that,
now, though.
Yeah, but she said it's,
She's wanting to replace it with a larger
Right.
one at a different location.
yeah,
You are right about your backyard, you don't have a
she
backyard,
don't have a backyard at all.
you can't turn around hardly.
Uh-uh. If she tore that, that other one down, it's an 18 by 26. This is gonna be an 18 by 20, a 36, which is gonna be newer.
Speaking with Ms. Perez during the, our conversations, she might want to make this clear, but what she's got over here in the existing 18 by 26 is it's a structure that she indicated to me that she wants to get rid of because it's in bad shape.
Yeah. It-
And
it is in bad shape.
that's one of the main reasons she
She's gonna
wants,
replace this with this one.
that's one of the main
Right,
reasons.
she's upgrading
During our
the
conversations,
property.
that she's trying to clean,
house
she's trying to clean house.
in the
And
Yeah.
yard.
she indicated to me, when she first came to me, that the 18 by 26, was not in,
But it's gonna be done away totally.
Right.
totally, yes, sir.
Yes,
Come
sir.
out of
Yes, sir. It's yes, and it, like I said, for lack of a better word, I have confirmed, it's in bad shape, it's metal, and it would be, I think it would be, less beneficial for her to take this existing 18 by 26, in my personal opinion, and trying to restore that versus, taking it down.
Is this new structure, is it gonna be off the line, how far? We don't have any, we had no guidelines to go by, so we couldn't measure.
Yes, I believe, now, I'm not gonna lie, I might have
You
missed a
can't-
foot or
You
2 foot.
can't believe, I mean, we've got to know the fact.
Yes, I measured to the best of my ability. I'm not gonna say maybe like a foot or 2. As on my drawing, I tried to get it as close as I drew it on that plan, sir.
Do you know where that property line is there?
Yes, well, I'm going off of what I received from, what I went to go grab from the office in Columbia. And there's a marking in the back. There's still, from when we moved in 10, 12 years ago, there's a metal stake with a pink
In the back.
ribbon in the very, very back.
What
Yes,
about
sir.
the front?
No, sir, not in the front.
We couldn't find that, you know, we didn't know it.
To-
We need all of that from now on. We need all of that to where we can get some measurements.
The, I think y'all actually received this. Of course, it's not much of a
Yeah,
descriptor.
the drawing.
We
yeah.
did.
I mean, it's a
It's not
straight
much of a
line.
descriptor, but it does indicate the measurements anyway. They typically, and for some reason, Register of Deeds office, they're not sending me, they used to send me, it's a tax sheet,
A net tax sheet aerial, yeah.
and it's an aerial, and it actually shows the measurements
Flat,
and
yeah.
the building footprint and all that, but they haven't been sending that. And when people go request it, it's like, the people have came back to me and said that they didn't act like they knew exactly what I was talking about. But it's an aerial, it's a tax ID
Yeah.
aerial that actually indicates.
that
You
fence,
can- you can pull it off the website.
You put, well, I can't,
Yeah,
yeah, but I mean,
and the fence is the rear line. Fence is the rear line.
to the best of my knowledge, yes, sir, based off what I have access to, that's correct, yes, sir.
And
Based off what I have access to.
Well, now,
And it's 3 feet, I believe it's 3 feet, 10 inches from the fence, like the actual backing of the house.
It's not very much distance in the
Right.
back. for sure.
Yeah, she has no backyard whatsoever.
this, your description on the building, and you get down to the bottom, you say 18 or 20 foot by 36.
Yes, I wanted to leave space that if there was any way, say, you know, I did something wrong or any recommendation to what I can do, you know, just to clean up, you know, to be honest, to clean up. So I said, well, if, you know, they'd only allow me to do it by 18 by 36, you know, where I can house maybe 1 or 2 cars, you know, maybe they'll allow me at least to do it, you know, 18 by 20 or, you know, just leave space for recommendations, or if maybe my way doesn't work, you can recommend a better one, you know, that I may move forward and clean. That is the reason that I did that. I don't know if that is okay, I'm sorry.
Is this strictly a garage for the car storage?
Yeah, well, it is a half enclosed, part of it will be enclosed, so it'll be storage as was that 18 by 26. And then towards the front, part of it will be open just to bring in the car.
Just a roof over it, or is it gonna have the walls and a door in it?
Yes, sir, it will have a roof and a door.
Raise up door.
The only thing I can see is you're not supposed to have a garage in the front yard.
That's correct, but she is requesting that as the
Right.
meeting tonight,
Right.
variance, yes, sir. She's requesting both the variance and the conditional use.
I'll make a motion.
I don't think you can do one without the other. though.
Right.
You either
I'll make a
gotta
motion
deny
for a
or
variance
approve
and a-
both of them.
That's correct, yes,
And
sir.
conditional use.
Yeah,
And
well,
that's
I
just
agree with you,
because she
Chair.
doesn't
Yeah.
have a
How
backyard.
close
You're
is this
switching
don't
the
have any
storage
door.
building for a garage.
Sorry.
Switching the storage building for a garage.
but you couldn't build a storage building in the front yard anyway. right?
Exactly, yeah, so.
So,
how close is this building to the street?
It'll be, if I'm correct, I believe it'll be 70,
75 feet is what she indicated. Driveway,
Well, now, is that lot 175 foot deep?
yes, there it is.
Is that, let's see, we've got that in here.
yeah.
yeah.
175.23.
175.
Road.
The only
175.23.
thing is like you said, she's swapping backyard for front yard. In olden days, you know how they did that.
Mm-hmm, yes, sir. Yeah, I wish that when they, of course, built the house, they would have situated it more in the middle. so she
Yeah.
wouldn't have
Kind of in a situation
Yeah,
where
She
she
is.
can't go nowhere but up from.
Right,
That's the only place she can go. That's the only room she has, over there at that specific location.
I'll make a motion to let her do it, for variance and a conditional use.
We need, I think, we're gonna do it, we need,
We have
make
to
it
do it.
in two motions.
Well, you can't do one without the other.
You can, if you don't prove them, you got one, she can do it that way. But I think we need an answer on each individual for the future of this thing.
Is there no way to move it even closer to the house? She's got it 38 feet off the house, so I mean, get it as far back from the road as we can.
I think she's really, to be honest with you, I
I mean,
think she's up to
The
anything.
farther back from the road would be better, in my
Then she
opinion.
don't
Well,
have no-
if you think about.
Because you gotta be 10 feet off the house, not 38 feet off the house by accessory structure code.
That is
That's
correct,
correct.
but you gotta take into account the front yard setback.
It's-
Yeah,
And this being a kind of a unique case, I believe she's zoned R1, which, is a 30 yard, or 30 front yard setback, 30 foot.
30
front
foot.
yard. Yes, sir. So if you were to move it, it can only go about 8 feet to still give her her setback. It's kind of a unique case. I mean, because you get, if you're looking at the accessory structure says, 10 foot from rear property line, 5 foot from side property line, 5 foot from any primary structure. But now we're locating it, if it's approved, in the front yard. So we got to take into account the 30-foot front yard setback. So she's still got to maintain that 30-foot front yard setback. And right now she's indicative on her plans of
38,
38
yeah.
feet. So in reality, I would
She'd ought to move
suggest,
it,
I would
yeah.
suggest moving it closer than at least 8 foot.
The thing that's really got me pulled the most is that, those blocks out there. You're not planning on building, that's just gonna be,
Oh, no, and am I just looking at pictures and through the phone or whatnot? No, there is no structure there whatsoever. It is just a wall. I can bring back, pictures. It's just to house, flowers. Just
She actually,
to- it,
I'm sorry, I don't want to speak out of turn, but she plant, I've seen them planted. She actually plants right there, in that area that you're talking about. She does plant flowers in there. I've seen them when they're grown, in the past. So I know she does, that's what she does with that wall area right there.
Is this gonna meet side setbacks if it goes there?
It'll have to be 5 foot from side lot line, at
That's
least
what
5
I'm
foot.
asking, it don't show it on here, but
I do not have that yet. Remember what you explained to me, that you told me that you gave me a paper with the setback 5 feet from but- going from the 70. I did do it according to that, but as far as to what you asked me earlier, in front, I know where the line is at the back. But as far as the front, I do not know exactly where.
but it kinda runs this way.
Yes, sir, it does. As far as I know, the lady at the Register of Deeds, that is what she told me, sir.
To answer your question, Chairman, if this were approved, she'd stake the corners before she ever built, for me. As far as building construction goes, she would
You're
stake. the
gonna
corners.
make sure she's off the
well,
wall.
that's the reason I asked the question. I wanna make sure that she can stake it.
Yes, sir, yeah.
And be right with this building.
Well, she would have to be, as far as construction purposes, because I would make sure
get her building.
that she stakes it, prior to any build. Similar to what Mr. Ruse did already, he's already staked. So that gives me a visual when I go out there on site.
Absolutely, that's a plus for us.
It is, and it gives me
We
a
can go in there and look at it, measure,
And on the construction side, when I do a footing inspection, that's what I'm looking for, is those staked corners.
Okay.
And then I measure, based, on the
It
footing,
helps you get them to do that same thing,
staking it.
to where we know where the lines are.
At
Okay.
least close. Yeah.
This gentleman right here, Mr. Rue, he had everything perfectly laid
Yes.
out.
And I'll do my best to, address that in the future, but
This right here was just a guess
yes, sir.
when we went over there.
I understand, and I'll do that in the future. I'll ask them to go ahead and stake the corners out prior to, coming before this board, so the board has an opportunity to view that, visually.
What color's it gonna be? You got two different colors on two different sheets.
I was told that it would be best if I matched it as close as I could to the house. I wanted to go with either a forest green or a red, but Mr. Archibald suggested that I stay as close to the house as possible. So it will be, again, I believe I left space for error, either red or forest green or sand. And so it'll be the color closest to the house.
Yeah,
whether that's
it'll need to match
sand,
the house
Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
as close as you can.
I agree.
And this building over here, if it was over there, you wanna swap it, because this is where your driveway comes right into your
That is
building.
correct, sir.
Could you change that driveway and put this over here? Would you, let me ask you that.
Can I change the driveway?
You do have a entrance on the front, don't you?
I do have an entrance there in
Yeah,
the
it's on
front.
there,
I
there's a
do.
curb cut there far.
I think it's,
That would help me.
Before this board makes that ruling, in our zoning ordinance, or is that suggestion, in our zoning ordinance, if she creates a new driveway in the front yard, it has to be asphalt or concrete.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, she can't
It has
just
to be.
change.
Well, now,
Our
what are we
zoning-
doing here tonight? Getting variance?
Do what?
We're getting a variance tonight, right?
Yes, sir, but that's not before the board. I mean, she can't request something that hasn't been
Yeah, but
presented.
we're talking a lot of money. I mean, asphalt or concrete driveway, that's crazy.
Any new driveway going
All
in,
she's
our
asking
zoning
for
code,
is-
as you know, has to be concrete or
Mhm.
asphalt.
I mean, if someone is, in my opinion, if someone is trying to upgrade their property, I don't know why in the world we wouldn't want to help them do that.
She'd
And,
like to change the driveway later.
yeah, later if she wanted to, but I mean,
That
you're
won't help if
Won't help later.
Right, exactly.
Building now.
Yeah, but I mean, I went over there and looked
Is the
at it.
building gonna be concreted?
it's, so for right now, I at least want to throw in, little rocks, what do you call that?
Pea gravel.
Yes, all the way through and inside. We have not budgeted. I'm waiting, to see if it'll be concrete or, wood or just gravel, just, garage in. Mhm.
This building over here, we wasn't really concerned about it. I just seen there was an area.
It
Is
is.
it on the line?
It is, I believe, 5 feet. It is also within, I remember years ago, I believe it's also 5.
But you would, if you was to do this, you would move that over and get you 5 foot. Ain't that what you said, Rod?
Oh, you mean for the one that I'm requesting,
Uh-huh.
for the new one? Yes, sir.
She would have to,
Yes, Mr. Archibald
Yeah,
told me that I would have to, yes, sir.
you'd have to get it off the line and staked out before I do
Right.
it. When I do a footing inspection, that's what I expect
Yeah.
to see. Is it to
We're
be staked.
thinking about now,
Mhm.
get it right.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And I don't know, I haven't received a building permit application from Ms. Perez as of yet. So whatever is discussed, and she will take this back and,
Well, what I was talking about, that don't mean this right here is legal now and this right here is not either. And she's wanting to swap this. She's wanting to swap this and get that thing totally off there and go where they're building right over here.
Yes, sir.
that would meet the
But-
setbacks.
Yep,
That's
yeah.
correct.
But I did have a permit for that building.
And I didn't
I didn't
it was
just
way
put it
before
up.
me, yes, sir.
It was, 12 years ago. It was not Mr. Archibald, it was somebody else. I do not remember his name, but there was a permit, for this building, sir.
So I'm making the assumption, because we don't keep records, law requires that
I
anything
believe I might still have.
Anything past
the
5
original
years?
Permit.
is, we don't keep records. So, I'm making the assumption.
She can't move her house.
That's correct.
No.
I'm making the assumption on the accessory building. I'm assuming that the 5 foot was probably standard, and has carried on through code. So 12 years ago, just making the assumption once again, not having a recording of it, that existing building, I would say, if it was done correctly, is 5 foot off the side lot line.
But she's gonna get rid of it. That's all.
She's gonna get
That's all in
rid
the
of
past.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the new building definitely would, under construction portion, I would visually make sure that those setbacks were met.
I'm gonna tell you what I think. I mean, if you
Me
don't,
too.
I don't, if everybody through, you get rid of this building right here and move it right over here. I know that it's not proper, but your line is not proper either, where it's supposed to be in the olden days and everything. And I'm gonna say it would be okay to do it, in my opinion. But you've got to get rid of all these buildings.
Yes, sir. Including the 9x9,
The what?
including the 9x9.
It's got to be moved if it's not on the property line.
Okay, okay, yes, understood, yes. And what about the playhouse, my children's playhouse?
The what?
My children's playhouse?
The play out, yeah.
Her
I'd
playhouse
get
is
it
fine.
off of that period.
Oh, I have to get rid of it?
No,
Oh, I
no.
can leave
The
it.
property,
Oh,
just get
okay,
it
well,
off.
off the
It's on your
property.
land.
Okay, within my property,
just scoot it
okay.
over.
Okay, just put it up,
It's
okay.
just not good business to have something
No.
going on somebody else's property.
Somebody else might buy that house.
Understood, yes.
After 7 years, they can claim it.
Well, I learned much tonight. Thank you.
I don't like to do that because it says strictly about
I
that.
understand.
But I do understand that you're in a situation there where you can't even pull a car sideways. in
Something
your
like that.
backyard.
Something like that. I understand. Thank you.
So once again, we have two requests here tonight, variance request. The variance request being in the front yard of the primary structure, being in front of the primary structure. And then the second request being the conditional use for a metal structure, which does not meet the construction standards. So there's two requests, all come as one zoning request to this board. Y'all, you can vote on it.
I just told you my opinion.
Okay, you can vote on it as you
Is that
see
your
fit, Chairman.
motion? Mike, is
With
that your
both,
motion?
with both variances, with both variance and conditional use, or you can vote on it separate. It does not matter, but one can't be done without the other, so approval of both or denial of both, I think would be my suggestion to the board.
Is that your motion, Mike? Is that your motion?
That's my motion,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll second it.
That it'll be located, the
This building to be removed,
18 by 26 will be removed.
be removed,
And then you're gonna build the new building in that spot.
right. Oh,
With proper
within
setbacks.
the guidelines.
With the proper setback.
On this word,
Proper
where I
setbacks.
mentioned it.
Well, that'll
Be
be,
all the buildings.
Get them all back on your
Yeah.
property.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
And then if I may add, where it says 18 or 20 by 36, will you allow me to do the 20 or do I have to keep it
That'll
at
be up to Robert
That'll be up to
as long as it
Robert.
meets the,
As long as it meets
As long
the
as it
codes,
meets
that's
the-
It
up to
would be
him.
this way. I just thought, 18. right, 20.
as long as she's got room to go
Yeah.
20, I don't
I don't have a
have a
problem
problem
with
with
it.
that.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
already.
I would
Okay.
request that the board include that 18 or that 20, because the original approval or the original request came to you as a,
20
You did.
or 18,
it says 18 or 20,
it
but
needs to
the,
be
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, let's say 20,
Really,
and
put
then
the
that
car
way,
in there, yeah.
if something happens and you have to reduce it a little
If
bit.
you have to
you've
make it
got some
18, it's
leeway.
still
Yeah, you've
fine.
got
I
some
mean, it's
leeway.
approved at 20.
Yeah,
Approved it when you include that.
My 20
and then I
The
second.
building can go up to
by
20
my
foot.
end, circle, it says 20, that way I know.
Building up to what?
This building right here can go up to 20 foot.
Yeah, yeah.
And that'll take care of it. If you have to go to an 18 to suit yours, you're safe.
good.
And then if you don't, you can get the full 20 foot.
Okay. Since you already made the original motion, would you make that motion all inclusive? Just for the record, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
This
think
building right here,
do it.
this 18 by 26 will be removed, gone from premises. And then, this building over here that you want to put that 9 by 9 shed in the correct spot, away from the line.
Yes, sir.
And then you wanna start your new building, I guess in line with that.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
And go, I'd suggest if you can, go 20 foot on the west of that, cause it takes at least 20 foot to get 2 cars in there safely, and have a little space in between them.
Taken into consideration. Thank you.
Now, we understand,
I
Mike, the
second
new building is gonna go in the place of this.
I thought they was gonna do away with it.
I don't know.
26.
No.
They're gonna do away with it, but they're gonna put the new one in that place.
No.
No, they're not. No, Mr.
I
Farrell.
drew it,
No, sir.
I drew it.
Yeah.
Well, I misunderstood Mike.
That's going away completely.
Yes, sir.
And everything right over here is what you're gonna
Yes,
put
sir.
in line and in order and,
Yes, the way I drew it and the notes that I made, yes, exactly like that,
Okay,
sir.
well-
Yes, sir.
I think I heard you.
Well, that's the way it's drawn now.
Yeah, this building right here is got a big X on it. This gonna be done away with.
All righty, have we understood on the motion?
I think so, yes, sir, and I think it's covered in the minutes.
And I
Mr. Pruitt,
second
Mr. Pruitt made the motion. Ms. Cole has seconded that motion, and I think it's clear as to what the motion was. Yes, sir.
Okay, everybody satisfied with the motion? Those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Uh-huh.
Opposed? No, I'm gonna vote no on that. All right. All righty, that concludes our business.
Pulling teeth.
Is there any-
No, I just wanted to say thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you.
All righty, any old business we need to bring up?
There is none, Chairman.
Any new business, anybody?
No, sir.
Any staff comments?
No, sir. Did you get you got the sheet there in front of you, Mr. White? The public comment. I don't think anybody's on there to speak, though. Okay.
We do have a blank sheet where there's nobody here to speak to this meeting. If not, there's any other business, I'll adjourn the meeting. We are adjourned.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
That's good.
Hallelujah.
You got the minutes for me to sign?
Did we sign them out of my book? Because she hasn't got them done yet, or did, I can't remember how we done.